this doesn't make you want to join the military, I don't know what does.
Super inspirational.
I'm about to rejoin.
We must set our sights higher and focus on intentional inclusivity, because there are still far too many people out there, not just LGBTQ individuals, that feel marginalized, shut out, or discriminated against. So for all of you out there, I ask you to set out your symbols of pride, share your pronouns in your email, particularly if you're a person who doesn't think they need to. Initiate difficult conversations about racial and gender barriers, and share a bit of your vulnerability in a way that draws others in.
Why is this necessary? And by the way, I watched this, and here's what I think about, okay? I watch this, and I say, okay, Putin sees this, what does he think? Xi watches this, what does he think? The Middle East watches that, what do they think? The enemy watches it. Do they say, oh my God, U.S. is getting so much stronger. Guys, be careful. These guys are starting to put their genders in their emails. How are we going to beat these guys? Like, we don't do he, him. There's no way we can beat these guys, because that's an advantage America's having, because they're being more fluid about their, gender and all this stuff. Does that inspire the next generation to say, I want my kids to go into the military?
I mean, not in my opinion. And I would add, if the countries that you just mentioned, if I were them viewing this from the opposing lens, I would do everything I could to support something like this.
Of course.
The role of the military is to execute United States foreign policy. And at the end of the day, if you drill it down even further, it is to execute, conduct, and win war. Anything that you do that is not directly associated with those things is not going to benefit the warfighter. Let's see here, I think the stats are the last 10 years, every branch except for the Marine Corps and recently Space Force, which I'm still trying to figure out what they do. Their uniforms are fantastic, though.
My sister works there. She just retired, so she still hasn't given me an answer.
Yeah, they've missed recruiting goals. I think this last year was 25% across the board, again, except for the Marine Corps. There are promoting inclusion is actually, I think it's a great thing. If you look at our country, we're a country of immigrants. We are certainly a melting pot. And I think being able to have an ability to listen to and hear all those voices is a great thing. But diversity and inclusion just for the sake of diversity and inclusion, I'm not so sure that is the best path forward for foreign policy, especially when it comes to policy in the military. Because I can tell you in my own personal experience, the battlefield doesn't give a shit. It doesn't care what you believe. It doesn't care if you're a man or a woman or you're confused about the two. A bullet coming at you at a few thousand feet per second is not going to veer based off of what it is that you believe. So we need to prepare, train, and equip our warfighters to the best of the ability of our country. And my personal opinion, videos like that, and like I just said, I think that diversity, especially of thought and discussion, is essential. That type of video is one of the reasons that we are having a difficult time finding people who want to serve in the military.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Can you imagine being in war with somebody like that, and you're under attack, and let's go get them, guys, and that person doesn't go because they're like, you said guys, I'm not fighting. It's like that.
You might have watched too many movies. And the whole, let's go,
guys. Let's get them, boys.
I've seen that only in the World War. I've actually thought about that. The movies of trench warfare where they're like,
let's get them,
okay, so all three of us are in a trench.
Yeah.
You know they're going to blow a whistle.
Yeah.
And we're going to be charging another entrenched position that has just been aiming their guns at us for months.
Yeah.
When the whistle goes off, you're telling me you don't have a thought in your head. We're like, oh, I pulled my hammy.
Oh, I'm down. Oh, yeah, I'm down on the ground.
You know what's crazy? Rob, can you pull up the link I just texted you? So, by the way, I mean, obviously we're joking, but it's also partly serious. Like, I also want to, today I'm talking to a guy who is going through a certain escapade right now, and we're having a good conversation upstairs. And I got off the phone, and then I'm having a conversation with one of the other guys saying, so what do you think is going on with him? I said, look, in life, at 18 years old, nobody could tell me what to do. No one could tell me what to do. You just couldn't tell me what to do because I was a reckless 17, 18-year-old kid, not coachable, didn't fear anybody. Mom, dad, teacher, nobody could tell me what to do until I joined the Army. Then I met Drill Sergeant Green. Then I met Drill Sergeant Pirtle. Then I met Sergeant Ward. Then I met Lieutenant Colonel Peacocks. And then I realized you can't mess with these guys. They checked you And you're like, holy shit. Okay. I've met my equal, not even equal, superior to me. Alpha, you got it. I'm with you. Salute. Let's roll. I'm following your lead, right? I want my military, the country that I'm going to, go and see leaders like that are putting that fear and the respect in you based on results, expectation, life, the things you've seen that I haven't seen, where you look at me and say, who's this kid? Why do you act like you know what I've seen? What are you talking about what you're talking about here? You don't even know what I've seen in my life. But pump the brakes, you drop, go run 10 miles, go do this, and then also you break them. They're like, now you realize I'm the guy in charge? Yes, okay, salute. Moving forward, I'm the guy that's going to tell you what to do. That's the part where if you have to now be careful on how you challenge me because, God forbid, you're going to offend me or make me... I didn't like the way the drill sergeant talked to me. I kind of felt like he had something against my skin color because I'm brown from Iran. I remember my drill sergeant, first time I'm trying to get my, what do you call it, whether I'm going to be an expert, marksman, or where's the three different...
M16? Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and the drill sergeant comes and says, so what kind of a freaking nose is that? I mean, I've never seen a nose like that in my life because, you're putting it here. It's like, dude, you put it the wrong way. It's going to break your nose. So we're having this conversation. I have to tell him, as I'm from the Middle East, I'm from Iran. He says, dude, I've never seen a nose like that. That Iranian nose is problematic, right? Can you imagine today you're like, it's racist.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's like, I'm from Iran and I'm offended. So then I go and I complain and that drill sergeant's fired and now he's going to a different place. But all he was doing is he's just kind of talking to one of the soldiers. And I'm okay with that. By the way, the size of the military. Watch this. Rob, pull up the first one I sent you. Is this the one? Go lower. Is this the one? Okay, right there. Check that out. Jeez. Active duty force since 1990. This is before our time. Even when it was 1996, it was around 1.5 million, let's just say, right?
Yeah.
But look at 1990. 2,065,000, and it's gone down to where it's at right now. And then I have another report, Rob, that I sent you. I don't know if you have the second link. The second link shows that we've gone from 1.4 million to now 1.2 million, give or take, in 2024. And so the 60 billion we spent to give to Russia, or this is the recent one that they want us to spend the money to, what are we doing to get kids to actually want to join the military? Our military is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Fewer people want to join and enlist. You were reporting the numbers earlier that everybody almost pretty much missed the recruiting numbers.
Yeah, for a decade. Last decade.
Except for one, which is the Marines, that the numbers came up.
Which I can't blame them. Their uniforms are fantastic. God, they look so good.
Sick.
Why did you join the Marines? Dude, what else? The uniform.
Just Google Class A military or Marine Corps uniform, and you actually might consider joining too.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Type in Class A Marine
I was jealous
uniform.
all the time, bro.
So sharp.
Is it really, though?
Look at that.
Look how clean that thing is, bro. Look at that.
No,
Come
that
on,
is
bro.
sick. That is sick.
That is
And it's not even capturing the pants, which I believe are blue with the red stripe.
Look at that.
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Sick.
That's sick.
Damn.
Matt Sapala was in the Marines.
Yeah, he was. Shout out Matt.
Yeah, Matt Sapala was in. He
was combat too, right?
He was. He did 3 tours, and so again, recruiting. What do you think needs to happen for recruiting in America to go up, except for a massive event like another 9/11? Without a 9/11 happening, what do you think needs to happen for recruiting to become attractive again?
I think as a country, we would be better served figuring out who we are and what we stand for. Because right now, I think there's a real argument about what even the truth is, and you can pick the subject. And I have heard, anecdotally, and not many people would approach me directly with this, but the way that the military is being reframed as, we are just imperialists. We are throughout the globe imposing our will. And I'm actually not going to sit here and say that there's an essence of that isn't true. Like I said, the big lie, all the things that we despise and disdain other countries for, while, behind the curtain, we might be doing a little bit of that as well. If we don't change the way that we talk about military service, and one of the big things that I would actually talk to the younger generation about, especially given the cost of going to college, is the amount of vocational and trade ability that you have inside of the military and what you can do with that afterwards. I mean, I have 3 kids of my own. I'm looking down the barrel of what it would cost to send them to college, and I don't understand 6-figure debt as a late teenager, or somebody early in their 20s. Like, what a great way to set somebody up for struggles later in their life. There are fantastic educational benefits in the military. You're going to get the chance to serve something greater than yourself, and it's probably going to be overseas, which is a great lens to view what we have versus what other people have. So many people in the United States who never leave the U.S., and I think the stats are about only 20% of Americans actually have a passport, and a small fraction of them actually use their passport.
Yep.
So it's super easy to sit and bitch about how shitty this country is on your $1,000 phone with your $8 latte, while somebody else would literally trade everything they have and walk to the point of losing family members to try to get into our country. I think we have to do a better job of educating what the military can provide for people, not only while they're serving, but later in life as well. It sets such a good foundation of, I mean, for myself personally, interpersonal skills, integrity, discipline, leadership. I mean, the things that not only organizations are looking for people, hard work, work ethic.
Teamwork, camaraderie.
I mean, we can go down the list, right? You can just pull a list. Tell me that a company hiring in this country wouldn't want every single one of those checked. You know?
Do you consult for companies? Or
I do. Yeah.
You consult. What is it independent yourself, or are you with somebody?
Myself.
Okay, yourself. And how do they find you?
That's actually a good question. I mean, I have my own website, andystumpf.com. Couldn't think of anything else to call it, so I just went with something I could remember.
Very, very clever.
Creative.
Very clever.
But and most of it is from a leadership perspective. Like, I'm not an expert at hiring. I can talk to organizations about leadership in small units, decision-making, all of those things. So it's an engagement at that level. I'm not the guy to talk to, like, how do you scale your business? That's an expert somewhere else. But even if you were going to go into the trades, all of the skills that we were just listing, if you're going to work for yourself, you're telling me you're not going to be head and shoulders above almost everybody else if you embody those things. It has such immense value beyond service to your country. And then, of course, there is the service to your country. And I mean, it's hard for me. I don't think I have the vocabulary to describe exactly what that means or the opportunity that, that I saw it as, especially when I was, 11. But it's an amazing opportunity, and I hear it being described as almost anything but that in the common narrative.
Yeah, I agree, and because I mean, think about it. You nailed it with the college. I think a lot of the youth have literally no skin in the game. They can care less. They're getting brainwashed from here, from TikTok, from everything. Why do you think all these Israeli people that we know, they freaking love Israel? They stick up for the country. You know why? Because they all did something for the country. They all signed up. They put their life on the line. And if you see them, like Israelis, I see Israelis all the time, bro. Have you ever heard of one of them going, nah, Israel's not? No, never. Over here, a lot of people here are talking shit about this country because, like I said, zero skin in the game. So like, whatever. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, and not only that, the level of respect for somebody like, to look at whoever the hero is. The heroes today are not the heroes of putting their life on the line to go out there and fight for this great country. The heroes today are the TikTokers. It's a very confusing model on what's happening as well. So it's not going to make it attractive to join the military. And not only that, if you're not edifying them from the top, if from the top they're not being built up, if from the top they're not being edified, if from the top you're not selling America as the greatest country, from the top you're not inspiring people to want to give back to their country or what they've been given. The mindset isn't like, hey, what can you give me? Give me this welfare. Give me this Section 8. Give me this GI Bill. Give me this. Okay, but what are you giving to this? It doesn't matter what family it is, whether it's Kennedy or Bush. Both of them had a very clear values and principles, which was make your money, protect your family. When you're done, give back to your country through charity, through church, or through public service, politics. Figure out a way to give it back. We don't have a messaging right now of doing that and valuing that. Military is a form of giving back to your country of what it gave you. And a part of that is like family values, rituals, all that stuff. We don't have some of that stuff going on.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.